I honor all benevolent, decent beings in this universe who happen to see this video whenever you see this video here on Blooming Truth Now. The title for this video says reflection, but I titled it reflection because, again, I'm really not, for a time, I won't be adding a lot of titles and hashtags because I really don't want this to be algorithm based. Whoever sees this video sees it. And if it's something informative for you, enlightening for you, then it is. Okay. But reflection. Now, this is going to be just for the group of folks out there in the cosmos who you are going down the rabbit hole. You're learning about the fuckery in essentially almost everything. Okay. Not just religion per se, but you're starting to see the fuckery in everything. Okay, how they're just other versions of themselves to keep you, humans, bloodlines, on cycles of abuse, cycles, repetitive cycles. Okay, so the reflection. Now, some of you know and heard about the life review. Now, depending on what side of the path and the journey you're on, you've heard about the life review. The life review, they say, and again, this is just viewer discretion is advised. The life review. The life review is said that, what happens is this is the whole trap. This is the karmic trap. This is it. You die, and then, there are beings that end up appearing to you looking like, they said there's like beings appearing to you looking like it's your family or ascended masters or anybody, Jesus, Buddha, depending on what your culture is and what side of the world you're on, that when you die, they'll appear, ancestors and stuff like that, in this life review. But it's a guilt trip. This is what you find out. Like, this is to convince you you need to learn some more lessons, and so you can fix this. So they play on, at that time of death, then they'll play on the guilt, the unresolved, unprocessed trauma, guilt, shame, pain, but there will be an appearance of those you love, because this is the part that gets you. This is the hook, right? Even after death. Now, I'm not going to get too deep into all of the stuff, but whoever you all are, you already know what I'm telling you. I'm not even really informing you. Okay. So this is an added something, food for thought. Okay. Now, if you already know that, and this is how humanity has been trapped, and this is how this stuff has continued to go on and on and on for decades and eons upon death. Ask yourself this. Then what can they do then while still living? What kind of illusions? If they can do that, just play with that food for thought. If they can, you die, your consciousness, and then there's your, let's say, your grandmother, your grandfather, like I said, depending on your bent when you die, Jesus, Buddha. It's going to always be something or somebody that you had respect for, that you loved, that maybe you could have some regrets in some cases, because they're going to give a review. They're going to show. You're going to see it, which is why this thing sticks, especially, you didn't have a chance to work through any of it. But if that's possible, if you are leaning into kind of sensing and seeing how these cycles have continued, if that's possible, could they not create those illusions while you're here? Could they not phase shift while you're still? What do I mean by that? Somebody's gonna say, "Okay, Bloomy, here you go with your deep and your extra." No, but just let's simplify it. See, the real powers that be are always playing playing on humanity, believe it or not. And one of the supreme tools that have been used is through family. It's through anything that has any kind of importance, relevance, significance to the being. And if they want to play family against family, what would they do? If they want to, what would they do? Sit with that. Because they're going to always be concerned about the enlightened one. And I'm not trying to say that from y'all know how it is out here with the spiritual egotism and the religious ego. That's not what I mean. That's not how I'm trying to come off, and that's not where I'm coming from. I'm just saying, if we're talking about the bigger, we're not talking about the micro, the macro. If we're talking about the grand stuff that's behind what I just said, the review, the light review, the beings. The supreme tool is to target that. And how could somebody's gonna say how? There's several ways. I mean, if they have the power to do that, then dream infiltration, mind control, playing on the traumas, the guilts, the scripting, the programs of humanity, bloodlines, families, divide and conquer. Always. And when it comes to people that's on, I use the term enlightened one. I hate the labels because it all gets co-opted into some other bullshit. And that's why we got a lot of spiritual egomaniacs running around here in these here Americas. Shit. Because I used to get something there right now. Okay, no. This ain't about this hierarchical, I'm better. No. It's something to do with consciousness, resonance, and soul work. And it's a signature. This is why it's usually problematic for people who are on this path, whether they're doing anything wrong or not. They create the illusions there, then they can create the illusions while we're still breathing and living in this physical form. They can create the confusion there because, again, as your consciousness, they're pulling up this goddamn review, and it's how you gonna argue some shit that you see what I'm saying? Follow. That's why it sticks. You see it and you go, oh my God, your consciousness, your conscious. Oh my God, I can't believe, but what they ain't telling you is what's behind all of that, the pain, the trauma, their role in it, why it's there in the first place, to keep harvesting you over and over and over and over and over again. Learning lessons that you can't, when you play with it this way, y'all gonna catch this. Learning less, they get the memory right. So you gonna learn something that they wiped from you that you don't even know? Pain and suffering, playing on the humanity, the powers that be, the macro, the big wigs we're talking about. That's okay. We're not talking about the minions, the people that they are also abusing. Because believe it or not, I'm going to say it because it's the truth. Believe it or not, even the very ones that they hire or that makes deals with them, whatever language rocks your boat here, they're equally exploiting and abusing. They don't care about these motherfuckers. That's another video. That's why I said playing on humanity on a bigger scale, the pain and suffering. And then there are some humans that, in order to get, you hear the reference in the scriptures, those of you who are familiar with biblical scriptures or any religious or philosophical, like proverbial type words of wisdom stuff. Playing on the pain and suffering. And paying people the bowl of beans, the Esau story. That's real, but it's just not in this fictional sense that we read it. The metaphor, the truth, Esau. When you break all that down and simplify, keep it simple, as some would say, as you do that, you're going to get to a core foundational issue. He had an insatiable desire that basically drove him. I want this bowl of beans so damn badly. I'm going to sell my birthright. I need this. I want this now. And that's humanity, for the most part, whether they're conscious, aware of or not. But I'm talking about the individuals that are, making decisions for some of you out there who they're making decisions. They're making the active choice. And it's in the name of their version of a bowl of beans. And their bowl of beans is, I have a mortgage. I have medical bills. I have college tuition. That's their bowl of beans. Esau felt like he could not survive without this damn. Like he couldn't wait. He couldn't do the long version. Like it just had to be. And this is what's played on with humanity. Reflection. If they can do, those of you who are subscribing to and believe the notion of the whole reincarnation bullshit, trap, karmic loop bullshit, so-called earth school soul lesson shit. If you are subscribing to the notion that it's a fuckery, they play on your pain and suffering, your unprocessed shit. At the end of the day, simplify, unacknowledged and unprocessed and unrealized trauma. Because it holds a frequency. It's not just about, I'm going to get over an event. That's what a lot of people don't get. It's not that. It's a frequency. It is a vibration. It is cooked, hard baked until you get to it. This is why patterns. This is why they're there. This is why some stuff, because it's vibration, it's energy, it's resonance, it's scripting, it's imprints. %90 of population is not aware. The powers that be are. And this is why they target people like you and me. This is their bread and butter. This is how they keep their businesses, their families, all their stuff. And then what they do is they play on the weaknesses of each bloodline prospectively and start making deals with them. Sometimes these deals are subconscious deals that are made, and it's just an energy thing that is happening. In other cases, it goes far beyond subconscious. These are people who start getting a part of these secret societies, these groups, these cults, and what they do is exploit, right? And then through that, then the illusions begin, much like at the end of life review. Trickery. And in terms of the enlightened ones, or the ones that are really working through that stuff, then, and them, the powers that be, being concerned about these beings actually ever coming together, they do that. If this is why I'm saying the things that I'm saying, if they can do it, then create some kind of a weird ass shit under the guise of Jesus, Buddha, your grandfather, whatever it was or is, then they can do it while you're breathing. And they can do these things to keep you from your truest soul tribe, too. They can have you feeling indebted the same way in that life review they can fit you. To feel like you owe something, or you need to learn, or you need to fix. You don't know, no, you don't. You need to fix what the fuck they broke in the first place. That's the greatest fuck of all. That's the greatest head fuck of all. Fuck you up and then make you feel like it's your fault. That's narcissism 101. How can you learn? See, I'll start asking questions. I don't care no more. I stopped caring a long time ago. When I realized, what I realized. In school, in this natural world, we go to school and we have all these grades, school age. You go from kindergarten, I want to say nowadays it's kindergarten to the fifth, I think. And then you go into middle school and so forth. But with each grade, you do all these study, you take all these tests, all these reviews and refreshers and all of this stuff. And then you go to the next grade if you pass, and there's some kind of review and refresher to see where you're at. And then you go, and it's all something that you have with you. It's not wipe. You don't go to kindergarten and then they wipe away kindergarten, and now you're being put in the first grade and expected to remember whatever the fuck nigga that you bitch in kindergarten. It's ludicrous when we think about it. Because when we make it tangible, practical, literal, and simple, as I just spoke of, it makes you go, We wouldn't expect that. Take the kid through the whole season of kindergarten, erase their ability, whatever abilities they've gained, knowledge, memory, development, erase it, reset it, and then the next year come along and they're in the first grade and they don't know how to do the kindergarten, and we looking at them cross-eyed as fuck, like the fuck nigga, they done did something. That don't make sense. Divide and conquer, very messy. The world that we live in is messy. Most of the systems They're messy. When I say messy, I'm not talking about clutter. If you're living, you're going to have fucking clutter. Get over it. I'm going to do another video on the hypocrisy of antagonistic personalities. I've ran into a lot of that, and I would walk into, and I'll talk about it. And it's, again, this is several experiences I've had. It's not referencing no one person or individual. It's something that I've systematically seen as some kind of a common thing. That's why I was able to connect the dots. Messy. Thriving in chaos. Messy people thrive in it. These are the types where they have to create a problem where there should be none. And you know why it's there? It's still going back to the whole topic of the video. The plague on humanity, the pain and suffering that they benefit from. And a part of all of that is playing humans against humans. On all of their weaknesses, all of their, their lack of enlightenment, their lack of self-awareness, all of their habits, addictions, all of their issues that in some cases they're oblivious to. In some cases they just deny. In other cases they just cover up, and they know full well. But to play on all that, especially against any beings that's positioned in any of these spaces and places, and again, to be as delicate as I can without sounding douchey, pious, and pretentious, any beings who are actually enlightened. I didn't say smart, I said enlightened. A whole lot of people are smart. That's not what I said. Any beings that are holding a frequency, even a child, even a differently abled, is going to be problematic. Their life is going to be made to, or they are, let me rephrase it, the narrative around their lives in ways that people are trying to make them feel like their existence, their humanness is an inconvenience, when some of these people be so off the chain and don't even make no sense. Don't make no sense. It's like, what, nigga, man. Their humanness is to make them feel like they're not worthy or deserving of being, like their existence is a problem. And in a way, it actually is, because it's a problem. It is, for the system as it is. It is a problem. Not that the enlightened beings are walking around into, most time they have had to manage to tippy-toe a life because of what I'm saying here. Meanwhile, people can be screaming, acting a zip damn fool, nigga, just all, like I said, all sort of kind of every which way off the chain. Nigga, bitch, nigga, nigga. So the enlightened ones, it's their vibration. And when people aren't aware, then that's when you have all these processes and it gets into all these weird places that it shouldn't be. Like I said, they're playing on humanity. The powers that be are playing on humanity's weakness. They're underdevelopment and things. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. This is why abuse reigns supreme in a lot of circles, right there, period. You have a mama. I'm gonna give you all kinds of examples. Once again, to help motherfuckers unclench your booty cheeks out here in the cosmos. This is not referencing any specific individuals. I've collected this information over the years and over several situations and listening to other people as well. So unclench the ass. Let me give you an example, a single mama or a single daddy. And then you have to be single, because we always lean into that. Yeah, they don't have to be. But, let's say this person has a whole lot of pain and trauma unprocessed. They ain't never. And that's not a judgment, it's an observation. They're tired. Let's say they're sick. Let's say they've been abused. Because, life. On top of what they came with already, okay? Let's just, not to mention, bitch. Then life. And they're exhausted. And life is demanding and abusive. And they've gathered more shit of their own, addictions, coping mechanisms. Once again, this ain't supposed to be about judgment. We attach all that. This is observation. They're exhausted. Some maybe even borderline adrenal fatigue. And many of us are paying for our ignorance about those sorts of things. Ignorant cultures and shit. They did it to us as well. People are going to take offense to that, but the truth of the matter is, I'm still talking about the big wigs because they're behind it. Fat cat, sorry, son of motherfuckers. I ain't dying at all. Anyway, go back to what I'm saying. Here. Okay, so come back, Brand. You're going to the dark. I'm being silly. Okay, laugh a little, loosen up. That's the cut off cactus French braid house. I swear, in the energy world, I have a few different versions, and I think that's my cut off cactus French braid house shoes one. But back to what I'm saying. This example. Okay, they're tired. The single mom, the single dad, or this mother, father, whoever this is that we're referencing in this example, they're exhausted. Maybe they don't know, but they got all of this. Okay? All of this they're carrying. They're human. And then they have children, right? And kids are going to be kids, and kids are, vulnerable and open and susceptible. They're just like they're absorbing. It ain't the lavish as we think it is just because they're a kid. They're little prisoners. I'm just saying, I know we like to reference, man, I wish I was a kid again. I had to worry about nothing. Well, it just kind of, I get that. I get it. But there's more to life, you know. They sometimes they got crazy. Come on now. But the parent, like I said, they're gonna break. They're still human. They're still human. They bleed. So how are the powers that be playing on that? Then this particular parent in this example, then it's somebody is going to receive the brunt of their life's struggles, their frustration, their irritation, their tiredness. It's got to come out somewhere. And this is how the powers that be keeps perpetual cycles of abuse in families and bloodlines in anybody, you know, to keep this pain and suffering going, all of this loose harvesting that they, like I said, this is why people like me are targets. And my son, the population, it's reasons for stuff. It's a cowardly, cheap, low budget ass way. Anyway, mm, come back. It's pathetic. I would be embarrassed. I ain't lying, y'all. But that's how I'm hardwired. That's how I'm baked. I would be fucking embarrassed. I'm not embarrassed. I'm not embarrassed for the same shit. Neither are you, collective, that most of the world is. The surface shit. I'd be embarrassed. Like, nigga. I'd be saying, like, nigga, how your ass. I'm like, nigga, that's how your ass is. You pathetic, motherfucker. I wouldn't want to look in the mirror. Um, but they do this to the, you know, and that's how it starts and that's how it continues. Tired people and the kids are always going to get the brunt of things, you know. And we're not talking about, you know, I get, you know, discipline, blah, blah, blah. So don't go there. I'm just simply talking about what the lack of self awareness, the lack of the space of doing all this stuff, keeping these toxic cycles, having these humans exhausted with surviving the bullshit, the rat race, the shit show. Meanwhile, stacking up trauma, stacking up unconsciousness, stacking it up, collecting more parasitic, just stacking it up. We're human. We bleed. We're going to break. Ain't nobody perfect. And then here's the guilt. Do you see how it goes? Because see, then, you know, you do something, and now you're going to deal with some guilt. You see? Yeah, that's how they do it. The whole cycle, the cycle of abuse is that. That's the cycle. If you all research it, you'll see it for yourself. Oh, hey, I need to see somebody said something. See, y'all, just to be fair, I don't always be looking at my comments because I'm so used to getting trashy shit or dumb shit. But I don't mean any harm. I don't mean any disrespect to anybody that's sincere and legit out there, whoever comes to say anything here on any of my platforms. I'm not ignoring legit people. Just please know that I just so happen to be a person that through my social media, I am severely attacked there. It's been one of the number one ways that I have been attacked over the last 4 years. Okay. 4 to 6 years, to be quite honest. So I've had death threats. I've had people, you know, call me all kinds of names on here. I've had just lots of weirdo children of the corny kind of shit. So forgive me. Sometimes I look like the last few days I've been looking and that's why I've seen some kind comments. And I was like, oh, somebody said something nice, bitch. I ain't used to it. I ain't used to it lately. So that's why I stopped the other day and I wanted to acknowledge this. I'm like, okay, somebody said something nice. um, Anywho, back to topic. Divide and conquer. Messiness, playing on the weakness of humanity, playing on the ignorance of humanity, playing on belief systems that they put into the fucking nigga. Ooh, don't let me help me, help. Ooh, help me, bitch, because I'm feeling it some kind of way today. Our asses couldn't read shit. Let me get off that. And then playing it against one another. The oldest time, the illusion of time itself, the oldest tricks of the book. That's what I said, messy. Instigating, making problems where there should be none, to divide and conquer. Out of all the things that follow me in this train of thought, it's going to help some of y'all out there someday when you see it. Especially those of you who are already, rezzing with the whole notion of, okay, some bullshit. It's like you get it, that something's off. When we start to simplify, I know people who love to say this term, like make it simple, keep it simple. So here I go. I love that. But sometimes that's a trap. You ain't gonna trap me with that because we gonna use simplify, but it's gonna also expose some more things. Everything is subjective, yes. Perceptive, based on your perception, all those things to an extent, blah, 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 blah. But universally, when we look at the grand scheme of life, with all of our differences, no matter what this is, cultural differences, socioeconomic differences, age differences, all of the things that we all, the variables and stuff like that. But when we go to the basics and we look at the grand scheme of things, some stuff just shouldn't be a problem. When we're looking at life on a grander scale, we have human trafficking, sex trafficking. We've got kidnapping. We got all kinds of stuff every 60 seconds. Shit that matter, nigga. Every 60 seconds. That holds weight. You got homelessness. Yeah, in the fat cat country of these fat cats, nigga. Anyway, let me get off of that. We got children, impoverished, abusive homes. You look at the grand scheme, you got murders happening. Great trigger warning. I have to say these things because, people have experienced some stuff. But I'm just saying, these are real issues. You got people getting sick. Okay, I don't really like to go here a lot because I'm learning, like, some people got obsession with death. I'm like, I don't know. I'm gonna let that go. But the truth, the point that I'm making is that we do have serious things that are happening in this world, in this life, every day. Got gangs, we got cultures and people killing their own and then sitting on church on Sunday. Like, it's all good. It's all gravy. Like it's regular. Nigga, we just went and jumped these motherfuckers and now we going to church. Let's do this simple. We can talk mad trash, ganging up on folks, jumping folks, and bless the Lord. Come on. Oh, the powers that be love this. Oh, they love it. They love all of this. You do the work for them. These are serious issues that humanity can stand to use all of their energy, time, and attention on. But these are the tells. This is how you start to realize what's going on in the world and society, the offness. People are more okay with all of that kind of stuff going on. You know those things making mountains out of molehills or molehills out of mountains or reverse. You got some weird pervy things happening in life. Us humans and our differences shouldn't be one of the things that's being made to be in time apocalypse. But again, the messiness. This is the lack of self awareness about what's there. Some people's existence is being made to be a problem because of their existence. Now, I'm going to give some examples, some simplified examples to help sift through the bullshit. If, let's say you or someone, I need it to be tangible because it's the tangible practical is what most people can connect with. So let's, okay. Let's say you were in an area, let's say this person has a immune deficiency or immune system issues. And then let's say for whatever the reason is, they had to be in a certain place. I didn't say the place was bad. I didn't say the place was good. I just simply said they needed to be in a certain place. I didn't say they were better than that place. I didn't say they were less than that place. I simply said they needed to be in a certain place. And let's say that place, due to just natural stuff, we're not going to put labels and meanings on things. We're just going to simply analyze the condition. Let's say it had certain contaminants there that most of the folks was okay to live through, survive through, and had basically gotten pretty much used to, or whatever the case may be. So they're okay. At least maybe to them they are. Maybe they're not okay. Maybe they're used to whatever it is that has been caused them. But they're comfortable with it. But then the person who then occupies, let's say with their compromised immunity, and then they attempt to, you know how we all, again, I love using practical, tangible stuff because it's easier. I used to have a cleaning business years ago. It didn't last. It didn't take off the ground. It lasts all of 6 months, I think, and I had only one consistent client. One, so it ain't really worth mentioning. I had one client in a dental lab in Redlands that I cleaned every, I want to say either once a week or twice a week. And, the whole thing about, sterilization, sanitizing, we all have like cleaning, and it's to keep the germs, especially in his case, this dental lab or whatever. But likewise, in the example that I'm using, those with the compromised immunity, if they came in for the space to clean it, you wouldn't really think nothing of it because essentially it's like, oh, okay, got it. There, it wouldn't be, there would be nothing else to it. No other thought put into it, nothing read into it, nothing, uh, none of that. And it's in the name of preserving themselves. In fact, they do that for them, not for the others. It's so they don't get sick. See, the lack of knowledge, the lack of self-awareness, the lack of, understanding, and all of these other factors, in some cases where there's ill will and dishonor, nefarious dealings. But the point that I'm making, that should not be something that's read into. I'm trying to make a point of the simplicity and where complications are made where there should be no complications. In the example that I just provided, the individuals will not be looked upon as trying to take over somebody's territory. They would be looked upon in that example as somebody that's simply trying to make sure that they don't get sick. Not as somebody that's trying to do something to someone else. That's why I say messy. The world that we live in and the powers that be that thrives off of to make the existence of the enlightened ones seem like an inconvenience, a problem. When, like I said, you got people fighting, acting a fool. It's amazing the things that I've seen over the years. That is then classified as, oh, it's life and everybody's got issues and everybody's got problems. It's just life. And then the simplest things that enlightened ones are doing for themselves. These are tales of what's being exploited. People have insecurities. We all got some kind of insecurities, but not everybody is self-aware and not everybody is healthily working through them. They get into unhealthy competition, they get into unhealthy comparison, they then get into sabotagery attempts, even if it's on the subconscious level, because of not dealing with it. This is where the poem that I wrote 5 years ago came from. They need you to feel small so that they can feel tall. And the only energies or beings that operate in that is those who are not doing the work on themselves, have no self-awareness. I don't care the age. The narcissistic fuckery, this world. And now I'm talking on a grand scale. I'm not talking about no one individual. I'm talking about on a grand macro. The sociopathy. I'm really starting to feel like that's what the US is. And the only reason why I can say that, because I haven't been to another country, people. So once again, untight your butt, unclench it, and stop trying to find fake reasons to put me on lists. I'm already on. Try harder. I can't reference places with fairness. I haven't been there to have experience to be able to speak on. I said sociopathy because it's the whole, we want to appear one way that we're really not. Now, I got a little off topic, but I do believe that it all goes in together some kind of way when we're talking about reflection, and we're talking about those of you who know about this whole reincarnation karmic loop harvesting of humanity, choosing certain ones to suffer pain and suffering, and then certain ones in bloodlines or their pacts deals that are made so they can get their bowl of beans. It's a thing. So they'll work with corrupt government often. It's a thing. But reflecting on the fact that actually everybody is being fucked, and not in a pleasurable way. They're selling out so they can, maybe keep reincarnating as some bullshit. One of these times they not this shit gonna go to the left, to the left, to the left, to the left, to the left. Yeah, it's gonna come back as a frog and not a happy one. I'm just playing. Okay, ain't no honor among thieves, baby. There's no honor. Ain't no honor among corruption. Um, Divide and conquer. Guilt trip. All that. They're doing that to keep honorable ones separate, to scare us and spook us. In our process, you go through all this torture and all this stuff. You get to a phase you're like, you don't know what the fuck. But that's another thing that they play on. These karmic mimicries and shit, doppelganger, all this crazy shit. And they play these roles good. That destiny swapping shit. And I'm talking, oh man. This is how they do it. This is how they do it. Karmic, crazy bullshit illusions. This is how they do it. Sha-na-na-na-na. This is how they do it. Listen, now I'm going to end it here. So, because my son I got to work with his energy today, my own energy and some shit. But, so as I said, recently I made mention of someone who had come on social media and said some nice things. I think there was like two different profiles of people. I don't know, who came on there, said something nice. And I just, once I caught wind of it, once I saw it, then I made a mention of the person. But what's funny is that same person I caught, I was able to see like their profile and stuff that I remembered on my other platform, one of my other platforms. And I was like, oh, hey, I caught it. My eyes caught when they were there. And I said, hey, and I said their name. Now, listen, I'm aware that the name doesn't necessarily mean that it's the person's name, but here's the point that I want to make. How I know that they scare people. I know what they're doing. I know what they've been doing. How they bully people and then go, bless the Lord, oh my soul. Oh my soul. Bless his holy name. Somebody remember that's I'm doing on purpose, man. Sing like never before. Oh, my soul, bless his holy name. And they singing this shit. And then they stalk and talk all kinds of bullshit. Oh, honey. Oh, man. Beat up people and bully, then say glory, glory, bless his whole. Send sigils to disable, compels and domination, and then say, I'm so good. And then donate to Autism Society and bless his soul. Torture their ass. Make their life complicated, uncomfortable, then say, oh, I love you, and bless his holy name. Yeah. They scare people. The reason why I went there and started being silly. No disrespect to no real, legit, sincere, good deeds folks. Okay, please. Could you unclench your ass? Because when I mentioned this person's name this time, because they came and like they liked my stuff like a trillion times or something, because that's what caught my eye to look up at my screen. Because I was like, who's liking? Normally I'm not paying attention. I'm too busy yapping. So then he disappeared or she disappeared or they disappeared or whatever their pronouns are. And I smiled, not in, because I get it. I'm not saying this to like attack that person. I'm actually saying this because I'm talking about the corruption. These bullies. But to the world, all these people look like the most charitable, philanthropic people walking the earth. That's the costume. And the world is still a little bit retarded on catching up to this. And when I say retarded, that's not derogatory. It's a term implying slow. Underdeveloped. As it pertains to this. I didn't say in everything. I said as it pertains to this because people can't get over externals. That doesn't make sense. This, they did this. They can't get over externals. They don't realize that there can be ulterior motives and things that humans haven't caught up. It may not be always the case, but it doesn't mean that it's not happening, and that it's not happening more than we want to realize. It's a costume. It's a cover. It's the world stage of sociopathy under the umbrella of communal narcissism. True generosity, there's no attachment. And it's not a whipping post either. It's not there's no hooks. That's all I'm gonna say. Ain't no hooks. There's no secret punishment. There's no derision. There's no condescension. There's no whether subliminal or otherwise passive aggressive, it's not there. It's not used to exploit the person's vulnerability. It's not true philanthropy, true charity in its purest, highest vibrational form. Once again, I'm going to reference the good books, and I'm only using their term. Once again, I know I'm misquoting it, but it's somewhere in there. The warning that it gives with some charitable acts. There's even in the Newer Testament, there's even references there about, people, shouldn't be given in excess or out of, I forget the language that was used there, but that's a different reference, but still, it's kind of along the lines of, nigga, if you're going to do it, it shouldn't become a topic in group chats, gossiping, and then say, the Lord is. Because listen, I'm calling out the bullshit. I'm calling out the bullshit in humanity. I'm also calling out what the powers that be here, what they're exploiting. Because this is it. This is it. Ain't shit curses being changed as long as this shit is. Sir, per, nigga. Parrot. The whole divide and conquer, the triangulation, all of that is a part of the pain and suffering, torture program, cycle, reincarnation, bullshit, karmic loop, curse shit. All that, all that, all that. It's not just, oh, we never have money and I want to be the first in my family to have money. I'll be Judas. I'll be Esau. So we can break this poverty. What if the real poverty is this lack of consciousness and this willingness to abuse your own people? What if that's the curse? Nigga. What if the curse, I know I'm way off topic, but I'm going to do it anyway. What if the curse is internalized misogyny, bloodlines? So the women actually hate men, but they end up being internalized misogyny to where they're subservient and they feel like they don't really have another choice and they kind of hate themselves as well. And so then also they end up hating liberated women and they're willing to sell out their own people for it. Because remember, the world is thriving and built around toxic masculinity. And anybody, whether a female or male, presenting natural or whatever the case may be, that's holding the frequency to clear that out, is going to be a problem for those who like shit the way it is. That's why some of the things that happen starts to happen with nobody doing anything to provoke it. Now, whoever y'all are out there, take it all with a grain of salt. I don't believe that I or no one else in this cosmos, this universe, have all the answers. I don't. I don't believe there's nobody. I just don't. There's nobody that knows it all. Nobody's got it all figured out. I just don't. And I think things are case by case. You kind of, it's your life. You see and know things that outsiders won't know 100% of the time. You see what I'm saying? It's you. You know what goes on behind any door that you're at. Not the world. You do, though. If they can trick us at death because of our unprocessed shit, they can trick us while we're alive because of our unprocessed shit while we're processing. And if their favorite tools have been to play on guilt and shame and to use anything that you love against you when you're dead, then they can do it when you're alive. And if they can create holograms and Blu-ray and whatever shit, this is Jesus, bitch. It ain't Jesus. At least the real one when you die. Sorry, fake version. Ah, gotcha. Playing on our weakness, playing on our scripting, playing on our unprocessed, unacknowledged ancestral shit on top of our own shit. And those who won't sell out and become a part of the bullshit are going to always be the ones that are targeted. Period. The end. So they're the ones. That's what I said. We got to stop using some of these terms so loosely. Crazy. Some people are saying people are batshit crazy are the ones that are batshit crazy. Because what are we defining that as? How are we defining that? I'm asking questions that we humans need to stop slow and we just okay, what qualifies that term? Is it somebody eccentric, different beliefs than you, or is it something valid? Is they crazy acting behavior, cussing out motherfuckers, throwing shit, hollering, over exaggerate, over, it's over the top. It's just cash in time apocalypse, over the top, everything. What qualifies that? Is it their is it the subsequent result of abuse on them because they're stressed out or they have, you know, anxiety? Or what are we qualifying as crazy? Are they crazy because they can see the truth about secrets that people don't want to know nobody to know about? Is that why they batshit crazy? Or are they batshit crazy because they're out here doing weird shit to people every day? Abusing children, abusing disabled, abusing single vulnerable populations. Now, is that batshit crazy? Exploiting, taking advantage of human rights, illegal surveillance. Is that batshit crazy? Smiling in people's face all the while they want to take their place, black stabber. Is that batshit crazy? You go by this, they go by that. You this way, they look that way. You put your, these are, again, these are all, we don't want to look at that. But that is the world's scheme. Make it seem as those that are targeted and abused or enlightened in frequency, vibration, consciousness, whatever the reason is, as abuse them passive aggressively, and then when there's symptoms of our abuse, spin the narrative they crazy. Exasperate them with our incessant bullshit, with our petty shit, our street theater, our performance. And when they're tired and there's displays of our abuse, then we're spinning the narrative and story they're lazy. They don't want to do nothing. They're not motivated. They're procrastinating. Make their kids act out and then make that to be a problem and why there's a problem. Their own kids can act out and be disrespectful and do all sorts of things and run things, but make the targets. And then I will say this for y'all, I keep closing, but I'm going to say, reactive abuse is something that is a part of the bread and butter of what they do. This is how they keep the targets in reactive mode, and this is how they're supposed to provoke certain movement, how they can get the target to sabotage, how they can get the target to be hasty. This is a part of it. This is a part of the bullshit. And when something isn't working quite as they want, then that's when Project Ergo enter. It's going to be one thing after the next. That slowly to get, the chip away at the target, where, okay, do something to me. If they make their kin uncomfortable, then this is going to push them to be hasty. Do some weird, nasty, incestuous. I'm just throwing rando shit out there. That's a possibility for some of you, because some of these people are into some weird sicko shit. Astral traveling and shit, disabled people being weird. Hallelujah. Bless the Lord and Jesus. Uh-huh. Some people are sleeping with the enemy. They don't know what they didn't fucking have mercy. Mm-mm-mm. But it's all to get you to fight. This is what the big wigs are behind it. They're using the little man, but the big wigs are behind it, I'm telling you. The oldest. Let's pull on the maternal thread. Put the pressure here. Put the pressure there. Illegally surveil. Make them uncomfortable. Give them no privacy. Make everything a problem. They breathed wrong today. Make that need for a discussion. They made noise. We're noisy as hell, but they made noise. Make that a discussion. That's an issue. It's all designed to get you, like I said on a video yesterday on my other platform, they want the world to look at you as what's true of them. Bitchy and moany, gripey and complainy, because the world don't know the fullness. So anything that you say and do is going to be contorted. They want you to seem moody, broody, grumpy, and some of y'all may live that of them. That's the funny part. That's the funny part. You may actually live out the very opposite, that of them. Is world of complaints. You may be trying to actually make the best of, but you exist. But that's the problem with, again, abuse culture, narcissistic dynamic. You're objectified like a doll. Your humanness is an inconvenience if it's not something that can directly serve them. Those are the things that start to be a problem. So your flaws is made monumental while theirs is minimized. And I ain't going to say even your flaws. I'm going to say your humanness. Because in some cases, it ain't even your flaws. It's just your humanness. You breathe. You breathe. Your children breathe. You exist. You exist. And all that comprises what makes you you. Enlightened ones, or those of y'all on your way, you may not consider yourself that. I'm just trying to give language. We got to talk, so we got to put language to things, but don't trip. I get it. And to those of you who have been coming on my platforms and saying nice things and I haven't caught it, I honor you. I just want to give you your acknowledgement. If you're sincere and legit, I really do honor you, but I know there are some of you out there that are being equally targeted as I am. In some cases, maybe even worse. Okay, by church-going bullies. I shouldn't even say church-going because some of you people ain't stepped church since 1995. But anyway, I digress. You're being bullied, harassed, and, I get it. And I also get that I don't know the fullness. I have an idea of what these people are doing. And I saw it long before it ever happened. So if y'all disappear, I'm not mad. Like when y'all, I'm not mad. I get it. But one of these days, the enlightened beings, we take our power back. Because a part of why all this shit works, I'm just going to tell you, is because of the fear and the secrecy. It's a part of why. It's also a part of why they continue on. It's hard to do when there's full on exposure, and it's hard to do. It becomes harder and harder when enlightened beings overcome their fears and connect with one another. And some of you all are starting to do that already. So kudos to those of you taking those steps, those baby steps, albeit, but those steps to connect. Because this is how we dismantle delusion and deception. This is how we dismantle lies, gossip, rumors. This is how we dismantle all of that fuckery. Again, be safe. Some people got, targets on their head. I have a target on my head. Some of y'all, some of that shit is a bluff. Some of these motherfuckers too scared. They asshole. Talking shit. They don't want to take their black ass to jail. Or whatever color they are. Somebody will say, why they have to be black? Okay, well, whatever color. intimidation tactics protocol. So just continue to work on your energy. I'm doing the same thing. Continue to work with your subconscious. Continue, frequencies is acoustics. I'm gonna yell that to the mountaintop. Acoustics, your voice, frequencies, big time deal. Okay, on top of using the elements, nature, all the elements. Okay. Because sometimes where we are, we have to work with where we are. Okay, sometimes we don't have basic things. Do what you can with your energy, and we will unite. Us beings that are just simply trying to be, we have a right to be here. We are not batteries. We're not to be being sacrificed for no sorry nigga bitch hoe who trying to get their foot in the door so they don't have to worry no more at the expense of you and yours. So what are we at? 1 hour, 32 minutes. This was a long discussion that went way long, and I went different angles here, but hey, pull from it what you can. I am unscripted and unrehearsed. I don't stand in front of a mirror. I don't, do to practice words and movements and gestures and stuff. That's just me. I might not be your flavor if you click on here, but that's okay too. And that does not have to be the end time apocalypse because of it. I won't make you my mortal enemy because you don't like me. Okay? And that, my friends, that's maturation. I won't have to get a doll of you and your platform and go to town. It's okay. Namaste.